welcome. And today I have a legend, an icon, one of the greatest voices in house and dance music, Kathy Brown, to tell us,
Hello. Hi, how you guys
hello,
doing?
to tell us literally everything about the genre, the ins and outs of the genre, as well as like her storied and legendary career. Welcome to the channel, Miss Kathy Brown.
Thank you for having me.
I'm glad to have you. So, just to start off, a question I like to ask every vocalist that comes onto the channel is how did you discover you had a voice?
I used to sing gospel. That's how I started out, gospel singer. Um, I did that I started singing gospel at the age of 9, and I stopped singing gospel in my 20s. Um, but I used to sing with people like Shirley Caesar, which is my aunt, Inez Andrews, Dorothy Norwood, just the Temptations, the Mighty Clouds of Joy, you name it, we've opened up for. So yeah, that's how those kicked off.
Gospel. I'm thinking along the lines of like I'm pretty cool with a diva. I'm friendly with Martha Wash and
Oh
just
yeah.
or like Vanessa Mitchell and all of them. I noticed a lot of you all come from the church and into house or dance music. What is that overlap like?
Well, for me, in my situation, I don't know about anybody else's. I got into dance music, actually by accident. I come from R&B. I didn't know anything about house. When I was introduced to it, a female by the name of Karen Bernard, which used to do backing vocals. She used to sing with the Joneses, and she also used to do backing vocals for Shaka Khan, Erica Badu, PM Dawn. So she was very well known in the business. So she was somewhat teaching me about the business and how to get into it and so on, etc. So yeah, it was through her, Karen Bernard, how I got into dance music. And it was definitely something different. It was faster. So I had to really learn how to maneuver, get around house music.
Now that you have mastered it, what overlap would you say there is between gospel and house or dance music?
I wouldn't say it's really an overlap. It's just, to me, speeded up music, disco. More of disco. R&B is on a slower pace. At least that's how I found it. It was very difficult for me to get into the faster pace of it. But then once I mastered it, it was pretty cool.
Okay. And then you come out the gate with the hit.
Yep.
Can't
I
play
mastered it.
around.
Listen, so once I mastered it, that was it.
So how did that come about?
Oh Lord. What I do? I used to have producers slow it down for me, slow the speed down, and let me do it in an R&B feel, and then they can speed it up to anything they want to put it to. But that's how I used to approach it. Now I'm more or less I can get into the groove a little more. It comes a little easier.
So on Can't Play Around, you had to slow it down first?
Oh yeah, can't play around. Oh wow, how can't play around in the studio? It was about 20 people. Louis Vega, Fred McFarlane, Dave Shaw, Dave Darlington. It was so many people. Kenny Dope. It was so many people in the studio. I had to record it with the lights down low. So as I started to sing the song, I gave it the beginning intro, which was R&B. It was slowed down, so I gave it the beginning intro. I wrote that part, and then I started singing the original "Can't Play Around," just a slower version of it. So yeah, they did put it in an R&B feel for me to record it. So yeah, and then it was like it
So
was like
when
yeah, everybody started clapping by the time I finished singing the song. So it was like for the first time of me doing house music, and I just smashed it on the first try.
so when did you know it was a hit?
Almost immediately. almost immediately. I knew it was going to go top 10. And most of my records did at the time, um, except for maybe Turn Me Out. I think, Turn Me Out went number one. It stayed number one for 6 weeks on the Billboard chart. They all did pretty well in the beginning.
Okay, and so I have a question about Turn Me Out, Can't Play Around, I Appreciate Joy. So I noticed with all those songs, they're like different remixes. You have the vocal mix, the club mix, the 12-inch mix.
So
For
many mixes.
for your for this genre in particular, what is the importance of a remix?
I guess so for those who didn't get to hear it the first time around, could hear it again on the second time around. But I guess the importance of remixes is giving it a different, coming back with a different approach, just approaching it differently, giving it a different sound. It's so many variations of remixes. As you said, so many remixes, but it's just trying to get that right one so that it goes off and it's your signature. But yeah, remixes are very important, I think. Yeah, so if it don't go right first time around, you get it the second time around.
So when you say, for instance, like these songs have the 12-inch mix and the vocal mix. Now, when you do that, are you recording a different vocal for each one, or how does
No,
that
no,
work?
no. I'm not recording a different vocal for each one. When I go into the studio, I'll do maybe I'll sing a song, say maybe 7 minutes or eight, even sometimes for 12-inch. It depends on what we're doing. And I'll give it a little extra vocal work on the end. But as far as re-vocaling it, no, I never have to do that because I always give it enough in the beginning.
I have always wondered how that worked.
Oh no, you don't have to do it over. They have enough vocals. Trust me to do 2 or 3 mixes off of your one.
Wow. Okay. And so when these things are released into the clubs, what was the importance of the clubs in making these songs hits?
Oh, it's very important for the clubs to make them hits. If the clubs didn't make them hits, then you really didn't get to hear them. Between club radio, those are the two most important things. So if club or radio don't play it, then there's really no substance to it. Nobody's gonna hear it.
That's interesting. So you would say like around this time, the DJs were more instrumental in creating hits.
But they've always been kind of instrumental in creating hits.
Mhm.
Because if the DJs didn't play them, how would you hear them? They wouldn't be like for instance, when my stuff comes out across around the world, if DJs wasn't playing it, you would not know who Kathy Brown was. So yeah, DJs and singers, we have to really, one can't do without the other.
When I think about this genre of music in particular, I feel like the DJs and the singers are really like this as opposed to some other genres. And so who would you say were some of the important DJs at the time? Like
I would say, okay, Louis Vega would be the first. Masters at Work. Spin, DJ Spin, doing real good. Jesse Sanders. Old school. I'm speaking old school now. Data Morales. It's so many DJs I know. Todd Terry. It's just so many I know that it's unbelievable. But just to name a few.
any clubs that were really, really important that you wanted your song to play in?
Not really. Not really. As long as they was playing it, I didn't care who, what club, as long as it was getting the support it needed. I really didn't care which clubs played it.
And so something I think is really, really interesting, particularly about uh vocalist and house music in particular. So I'm looking at your history. You came out the gate, hit, 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 hit. Now correct me if I'm wrong, but generally if you're like are backing all of these hits, we would get an album. Why is it in particular with a lot of house musicians, they have all these hits out the gate, but there's no album necessarily to support it?
I would have to say house music. Now you're gonna get me. Tell the truth about house music. Um, um, albums with house music. I'd have to say house music is not like R&B, more of a community. I would have to say R&B is, and house music to me is not really, they don't really come together as far as a community like. Oh, Lord have mercy.
Because that is genuinely a question I've always had. All these house music hits, especially from the late 80s through mid 90s,
Well,
these
actually,
winners.
I'm doing my very first album
Really?
with Defected
Okay.
Glitter Box. This is my very first album. Even though I've done an album, I've done my own album with my label.
Hmm.
But this would be the, I have to say, very first album as far as anybody signing me to an album deal. I've had plenty of single deals, but Defected Glitter Box, whatever, is doing my very first album and comes out in June.
Okay. So that just brings up another question. So, like, when you are cutting these hits, like Can't Play Around, Turn Me Out, the hits, the back-to-back hits, those are single deals, or are those even deals
Yes.
at all?
Single deals.
Oh,
Single deals. Say one would be signed to Spinning Records or Warner Brothers, or because Turn Me Out was signed to Warner Brothers and London Records, Make Me Feel Like Singing. So they all were signed to different labels, major and independent. So I've had the pleasure of both.
that is
Like,
really one of the questions I've always wondered about some of the most amazing vocalists like yourself. Like, where is the album? I see the singles. Where's the album?
Everybody
Okay.
always asks that question. When you did an album? Yeah, I've done an album. I've done over 700 tracks. So you might as well say I've done one, but officially, this will be my first.
Wow. And how's that process going?
Pretty good. I ain't really had to do that because it's a remix of my classics.
Mhm.
So they're doing all remixes. Some of them are new. Your Love Keeps Lifting Me Higher covers. So a few covers on it, and originals for sure. More originals than covers. But yeah, Happy People. So we're doing all the classics. Never Again. Um, Turn Me Out, of course. That's out now. Um, which is called Turn Me Deeper right now. They give it different titles, but it's called Turn Me Deeper with Mark Knight, The Who, and The Hurt, Mr. Hurt. So yeah, remixes is what we're doing.
Wow. So I know, speaking of your new album and things of that nature, uh, it's been, sort of public that, in the process of creating this new work, you've had a series of challenges. Would you mind sharing those with us?
Since I've come back home, I discovered uh, I had stage 4 cancer, brain cancer. I came home in October. October around, say, a week or two later, I started experiencing different things with my daily activities. So it made me rush into the emergency room. So I got into the emergency room and they took tests. And as soon as they took the test and came back, it was like, you're this, you're that. I was in shock for the first week or two. I was in shock, not believe because I've never been sick in my life. Um, didn't do the getting sick thing. So yeah, when I found that out, and now I must say I'm in remission. So things are going good. My doctors have already given me, I can go back to work whenever I feel like it. It's more or less just live your life now. So yeah, I'm on a 2-year treatment plan. So like I said, so far going good.
Okay.
As you can see, I'm looking okay.
Yes, we can. And as I saw, you sang down on that plane too.
Yes. Look, say nothing's wrong with the throat.
And so, And so I just wanted for everyone, this legend has a GoFundMe active that I'll post in the description as well as the pinned comment box to support her journey to recovery. Um, so please do if you all are able to help support her, please do.
Yep.
Um, Thank you. And so just a few more questions just about the genre and things before we wrap up. I see that's your number one plaque behind you.
Oh, oh yeah, my billboard from Turn Me Out.
Yes, yes. And
From
so
Turn Me Out.
yes, that label in particular, like whenever I look at house music things on YouTube, I always see that label.
Yeah, Strictly
For that,
Rhythms.
Could you could you tell us just a little bit about that, or just like were there labels that specifically specialized in house and dance music?
Yes, Strictly Rhythm. Yeah, Gladys Perez. Yes, Milady. Definitely, she's a good person. The label is definitely. They signed Barbara Tucker and a few other artists. She did ask to sign me at one point, but my management wanted to go with a different label, so that's how it wound up happening that way. Because I should have been signed with Strictly, but I think I started out with was it Warner Brothers? Uh, Clyde Davis was on the label. Right. Clyde Davis wanted to sign me, but we wound up not signing me to that label as well. We went with Cutting Records. Because my producer had a relationship with them, so that's the label he wanted to go with at the time.
Okay. Okay. And so now just trying to learn more about how this genre works. So if you're signed to the single deals and you don't necessarily have an album, how are you guys able to work? Or like how does that process work since it's an untraditional format compared to other music genres?
Well, with my situation, it was the single deals would I do the single deals. Almost got signed to a couple of album deals, but yeah, mostly single deals. Most of your work come from your live shows. That's where your work comes from, for real, for real, for real. That's just the bottom line. From your live shows, your yeah, that's basically where it comes from. Most of your income from your live gigs. You get most of your stuff. Yeah, you get most of your stuff from your live gigs or festivals and so on, etc.
Okay.
That's where your work comes from.
Mm,
For you to do anything, television, this, that, whatever. It all stems from you going out, actually doing the work and promoting it. And which they don't seem to do anymore. There's no more real getting prepared for stage or getting prepared to do, you know, this dance career on how you're going to do it. There's just no more preparation for it. You don't need to prepare for anything anymore. It's more or less, if you can do it, get up and do it. And there's no real, behind it. As Patti LaBelle and Aretha Franklin and a few of them have said, there's no substance to the music anymore. They're just hollering, just just singing to be singing. But there is a lot of good talent out here. Do I have to say, even though we missed the generation of helping a generation, they coming out doing their own thing and they're doing it real good. They're fusing the music together and it's working. It's something I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to play with music and just come up with different sounds, which is what a lot of people are afraid to do.
So I'm pretty sure you're aware of the recent resurgence, or should I say, interest in house and dance music within the past year or two. Um, the two-part question: how do you feel about it, and how would you say what people consider house or dance now is different, if at all, from what it was when you were coming up?
They're coming back to the old music because there's nowhere else to go. Um, so it is very different. It's like it's come to a stop. there's no real on house music. That I have to keep saying that. I don't know why I keep saying it, but I have to keep saying that. That is you got to look at R&B, hip hop. Those were two different genres that people felt like would never go away, even though the R&B has kind of faded out a little. But like I said before, this generation missed. They missed that in between thing that we had. We had people teaching us, training us. There was so much to learn about music when we were coming up. Now it's just show and tell. It's who got the most and who this and who that, and it's just no real substance anymore. There's no. Well, I have to say, it's just no soul, no, just nothing, emptiness. I'd have to say.
So I know you said it a few times. You said there's no real house music. So
Yeah.
how would you define, as a legend of the genre, how would you define house music?
What is house music? It's a feeling. It's a vibe. That's how I would have to explain it. It's. I mean, don't get me wrong. Now, I still love house music. I love my different beats and but I just feel like it's. I don't think it'll ever die. I don't feel that way. I just feel like there's no just no substance in it anymore. But again, like I said, I don't think it's gonna die because music is what feeds us, feeds the soul. So it'll never die, no matter which way it comes. I think it'll continue to evolve. It'll get better and better. It'll come out differently each time. Each generation contribute something different. So I don't think house will ever die. But as far as losing its substance, I would say up and down the scale on that one.
Okay. How would you describe the difference between house and dance music?
It's basically all the same to me. It is. It really is. It really is. I can't separate the two. I can't really. I mean, yeah, disco house is more disco-y, but dance I'd have to say is more. I don't know how I would explain dance. It's kind of hard to explain any kind of music today.
Yeah, because I'm just
It's
trying to
all over the place.
yeah, because I'm trying to think back. Like I'm thinking like,
That's what I'm trying
oh,
to think back. Like, okay, let me think.
because I'm thinking like when I think of house music, I think more centered. I mean, yes, it's the beat, but I feel like there's
Yeah.
a lot more focus on the vocals as
Yes.
opposed to dance music.
Yes. I would say that. I would say it is more focused on vocals than it is musically. Yeah. You have to give us vocalists some some space in there somewhere. Yeah, some credit in there somewhere. But yeah, I'd have to say that as well.
Okay. And so just one last question about just recording a house hit. So when you're all that space, since you have all that space, how do you think of the ad libs that you that just ride out,
It's ad libbing to me. I guess that's why they used to call me the ad libbing queen. Ad libbing to me, I don't think about it. Um, I just flow. My tongue just flows with whatever the subject is, and I just kind of ad lib around what I'm doing to make sure the words match and the meaning, everything has to fit right in there. And I find ad libbing easy. I find it more easy to freestyle than I do to actually, you know, uh, sing a whole song. I rather prefer to ad lib through it. But yeah, I love ad libbing.
is it like do you think that gospel background helps?
Oh yeah, and yes, for sure. And that's for sure. Like I'm doing a track with Idris Abbott.
Hmm.
The coming is coming along very nice. So I'm loving this track. But yeah, so it's different styles and their style is different. It's a little different, but I'm loving it.
And just wrapping up with what you're working on today. You told us you're working on your new album. Um, so now you 30 plus years in the game. What is it? How does it feel to still be creating, you know, leg legendary, amazing music?
No, it feels good. It feels good to still be able to write, to still be able to come up with fresh ideas, to just still be able to do it is just mind blowing. Just I'm loving it. It's like I'm getting. It's like I'm just getting on my second foot. So I'm just excited about this album and everything is going to bring. Yeah, I like to do some more stuff with a few more artists. It's something I've always wanted to do, duets with females and male singers. So it's something that I also want to do.
Okay, so on that note, where can everybody find you to stay up to date on what you're doing?
Kathy Brown Diva. You
Okay.
can find me anywhere, Facebook or Instagram. You can find me anywhere, Spotify. But Kathy Brown Diva.
All right. And just to wrap up, again, to support Miss Legend in her recovery,
Thank you.
the GoFundMe is in the description and in the pinned comment. Please donate, donate, donate. We love the music for years. It's time we love back on her.
Oh,
Thank
thank
you
you.
so much.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Kathy.
Thank you. Have a good day. Good weekend.
All right.
Bye.